46%, 78%, and the green energy here,
80-90%.
80 to 90. So let me ask you a question, which one would you want in your home?
80 to 90.
80 to 90% and what it does. Now, where are the thermometers at now?
Oh my. About 110, and still 80.
Still at 80. So what is that going to do to your air conditioning? Okay? The final thing I'm going to do with the homeowner is,
Do
I
we
already,
get those kits, by the way, or?
yeah,
We do?
you're going to get, we just didn't have the shipping address because you were moving buildings. I had this one overnighted. You'll have 10 of these. But watch this. I'm going to take this up and I'm going to go like this. I'm going to have you do this. You should have come there and tell me what the temperature on that is.
287. Oh wait, yeah, 280. 287, yeah.
What is it now?
76,
That's crazy.
75.9.
How much did it go instantly back up to?
275, 276.
So how much heat?
279,
How much heat is that stopping?
76.6.
A lot of it. More than half.
More than half of
Oh,
it
yeah.
is
Absolutely.
stopping right there. So let me ask you a question. What do you believe that could save you if
Oh
we
my
drop
gosh.
your if we drop your attic temperature 40 to 50 degrees?
You're gonna save half on your bill. I would, well, at least. Well, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm
what
sure
the
the
bill.
estimates will say anywhere from
But
25
right,
to
20,
40%.
right.
25 to 40. And you're going to see that out of our customers, but notice what I got them to say. We were like every other manufacturer out there. I had the statistical data to back 20 to 25%. But we took all those warranties away because so many companies are afraid now to use them, and owners are afraid to use them, and I don't blame them because of what the FTC is doing now. The Federal Trade Commission is coming after.
Suing and they're going and they're crazy and.
Even though they already talked to us and we had the data, but we're getting rid of it. But let me ask you this. Other than money, other than dollars and cents, which product would you want in the home?
You always want the best product.
Yeah, the best,
Only you're ready to bear it.
Okay, you want the Green Energy Bear?
If you're gonna pay for something, you want the best, right?
Before I do any presentation on price, I'm gonna come back to this. Let's say their attic's 2,000 square foot, okay? The cheapest you're gonna get this done for is okay. And 6,000, 7,000, 8,000. Here's what I want you to do. Based on the quality of our product, where do you believe ours is gonna be?
Cost wise?
Yeah, where do you believe ours is gonna be, based on our quality?
Well, here.
Wouldn't that be nice? I love an optimist. That's all you're giving me?
I would have gone lower.
I'm gonna say, I say more, but that's what you drew, so there you go.
That's okay if they go low. I don't care if they go down here.
Well, that's them being funny, but
Yeah.
most people will
Exactly.
be right in the middle because that's where we're tied to it. So let's say they go to 5 or 6, whatever.
5 or 6.
I am an optimist, by the way.
I am too.
Okay, we're set. I mean, where are you set at this point?
I don't know what price it, but I'm sure we'll be better right there. I
Right.
mean, yeah. I mean, I would hope, depending.
Again, this is where it's crucial, because if you don't do this, guess what they're gonna say to you? I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea.
Right.
You have to price frame everything, so I agree.
And this is not included the entire package. What is the only thing I told them? So let me ask you a question, folks. What do you think someone would charge you to come out and put just a water heater wrap on your tank for?
$500.
Okay?
$200.
A couple $100, put the door thing on for a couple, I
At
mean,
least that much.
yeah.
Labor.
You go through and individualize these things and what they're gonna cost you. Again, we got a real price point, but again, you can price point this with anything. I mean, you can price point it with all your coating jobs. You can price point it right in. We're gonna take care of your walls and your attic. Because guys, you can always come down, but guess where you can never go? You know, Pacesetter did it the best when Phil and Harley were in business. Do you guys know their business model?
Yep.
Every stinking piece of it.
All they wanted to sell was a storm window. They didn't care about the replacement window. They wanted to sell the storm window. How much did they sell a storm window for? $800. Because they were at $26 a United Inch in the '70s for a replace. They didn't want to replace the window. They wanted to sell the storm.
I want to stick it in right this far from the other one and get gone.
That's it. And they were selling storm windows for $800.
Back then,
Yeah, it was a lot of money.
$1,800 now for a storm window.
Yeah, but it was all their setup. They showed them a replacement window would be $2,000. So when they 10 windows, $20,000, but you don't need that. For $8,000, we can put these on. They're good. But because they went from that big number down, what did 8,000 sound to them?
A lot better.
Way better, way better. And what it does. Back at his book, these are all university studies. This is for the engineer. Okay? Arizona State University. I'm not bringing this to John and Mary. I'm not going to talk to them about this, but ASU in 1984. How long ago was that?
28 years ago.
27 years ago.
This is for the guy that says, well, this stuff is brand new. No. How long ago did ASU test it? Arizona State?
20 years ago.
28 years ago. Professor Woods built, or Dr. Byron Woods, he built 2 homes. One with R19 in the wall, R30 in the attic. They built the second home only with the product like this in it. No insulation. 0.
None in the walls.
That was in the walls, that was in the attic. It goes through the whole thing, they had it set up, and you read these, it's quite interesting. And they'll tell you the GEB house was more comfortable and returned a 35% savings over the identical insulated home next door.
That doesn't surprise me. It depends on where the home is, but I mean, it does not surprise me.
Well, Arizona is much like
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
just as
exactly.
hot.
It's hot.
This is Boone, North Carolina, which Appalachian State, both climates. 23 degree and peak attic temperature drop, a 20% reduction in AC runtime unit, a 57% efficiency improvement in your air conditioning. In doing that, Florida Solar Center, you can go through all of these. Kansas, KU did a big study on it. These are more cold climates, and then of course Texas A&M. So really it just comes down to dollars and cents, and you nail it home with those videos I just showed you while you're figuring up the price.
We got all kinds of ways to use financing too, don't we, Bob?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you show them, make them use their numbers.
But make sure I talk to you before I go on that too.
I mean,
Okay.
Not.
So I got a new bank that you'll like.
Oh, okay.
You're making them use their numbers. We can do
Well,
5 years no interest and some other crazy things where they you charge them $8,000. Their payment's $120 a month. By their own admission, they're saving 80 or 95 or
95.
100. So for 5 years, folks, this is your investment for life to save, and it's not going to cost you a penny out of your pocket. I mean,
Thank
come
you.
on.
See, you just set it up. That's what I'm setting them up for right there.
Yeah.
Let me, well, I can't afford let me ask you this question. I can't afford $120 a month.
Of course you can.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If I showed you where this would only cost you $30 a month, if I only told you to give you $30 a month, could you afford $30 a month?
For $30 for 5 years,
$30 a month.
and then I'm going to start paying you
$30.
Yeah.
Because 95 you're not giving to the utility company. So it's only gonna cost you $30 out of pocket. Or I'll do the same thing with interest. Well, if it was interest free. It is. You're giving that money to the utility company.
That's the sale. I mean, I think that's the close. But
It's the close. It leads them right into it. It's not costing you anything. The only ones you're not gonna close if they're truly broke.
Sure. Well, you can't close to the broke people anyway.
You should.
Should get the hell out of there. Seriously.
So, it's a simple lead, it's a simple, and it's not hard, it's not rocket science-y.
My friends are ripping this stuff up, so I know I can. And it's in this area where it's so freaking hot.
Absolutely.
It makes so much
It
sense
really does.
to invest in your home when we're all going to be stuck in our homes. And the principle of this, I already know it works. He has it in his home. He goes, "My God, dude."
Oh, it's a
I'm
huge
just goes. I'm not bullshitting you. 20-25%. Not kidding. You know, and everybody says the same thing. So you have that belief, that positive attitude of doing it. if you're looking for people that still wanna save money, this makes sense. And I can sell it that way, cause it completely makes sense.
Especially your existing clientele, you send a mailer to
And it's just, boom.
them, and they'll love it to death, but I mean, and I know you got multiple things, but I got multiple window companies, guess what their giveaway is to put all the windows in?
Radiant barrier. Sure.
You know, now I got a dealer, I don't know, you know Peoria Siding and Windows out of Peoria, Illinois, massive company up in the middle of nowhere. They cover so much ground. But for every window, the homeowner gets 100 feet of GED. So if they buy 10 windows, folks, you're credited for 1,000 square feet. It's only gonna take another 1,000 to do this.
Cha-ching.
So they're upselling them,
Right.
you know, which is covering all the costs and everything to do it anyways, and you're making money on it. They're making good money. Same with siding.
Right.
Every square is 100 square feet.
Yep.
You know, to do it, they're credited.
Todd, explain our values to us. So we all know when you get on the phone with customers, they're going to be asking you about our values. Todd, will you explain our
Actually,
values
you
to
know
us?
what? I'm gonna explain it to you right from Newton, cause it's a lot easier. And he'll tell you here, the effectiveness of an insulator is indicated by R value or resistance. Okay, rigid fiberglass is a common insulation material. Has an R value of 4, which is not true, 2.4 per inch. Which pour concrete is a pour insulator and has an R value of 0.8 per inch. Okay, but it only pertains to an insulator. The effectiveness of a radiant barrier is indicated by its reflectivity, which is the fraction of radiation reflected. A material with a higher reflectivity at a given wavelength has a low emissivity. Okay? In other words, emissivity is what it's allowing through. So, if we take emissivity and look at reflectivity, if we go to our Energy Star ratings, what's our emissivity?
0.03.
Which means we're reflecting the reverse of that, which is how much?
97%.
97% of all infrared energy that reaches it. Okay? So our value only pertains to, or means resistance. Now resistance does not mean stop.
No,
That means slow.
right.
Reflect means. And some of the things we'll do with this, like you'll watch some of the YouTube videos. I have dealers that'll leave it in here and run this up to like 180 degrees. And they'll pull this out of it and they'll go like that to you immediately.
Yeah.
And you'll be like,
Yeah.
and it's cold. It doesn't burn you because it's reflecting it. It's not absorbing it. So you can hold that heat there and it doesn't, it's not hot when it touches you because it's a reflectant. Versus insulation would get very warm because it's absorbing it and the heat is building inside of it. Makes sense to you girls?
Absolutely.
Well, they use
Absolutely.
basically, I said basically, it's a Lowy coating. It's coating. It's metal.
Yeah, it's